Good evening and welcome to the news at 5 on Channels Television. I'm Anne Nwawado. Our top stories this hour. More reactions have continued to trail the United States' designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to intensify the fight against terrorism while emphasizing the need for stronger internal cooperation. Speaking at a press briefing in the nation's capital, the minister dismissed claims that terrorism in Nigeria is aimed at any specific religion or ethnic group, stressing that the government remains fully committed to protecting all citizens.
Any narrative suggesting that the Nigerian state is failing to take action against religious attacks is based on misinformation or faulty data. Nigeria's security agencies have neutralized more than 13,500 terrorists through sustained operations, and they have arrested over 17,000 suspects who are now undergoing interrogation and prosecution for various offenses. Also, more than 9,800 victims abducted by these terrorist elements, including women and children, have been rescued and have been reintegrated with their families. It is important to restate that the menace of terrorism in Nigeria does not exclusively target any religious or ethnic group. The recent change in service chiefs by the president, which, by the way, happened even before this designation by the United States of America, and the subsequent realignment within the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies, reflect President Bola Tinubu's determination to reinvigorate Nigeria's security architecture. On the current misreading and misjudging of the reality of Nigeria's true security situation by the United States, President Tinubu is taking the lead to resolve all areas of misunderstanding through all available diplomatic and political channels, just as the federal government welcomes more collaboration, assistance, and partnership with all our foreign partners, including the United States of America.
And the chairman of the People's Democratic Board of Trustees, Senator Adolphus Nwabara, is chairing a meeting of party chieftains in the board, where he is calling for reconciliation and peace in the PDP. The BSG chairman is also asking warring members to sheath their swords in the interest of the party, and he's giving an assurance that the BOT will not take sides but work towards reconciliation of all members. Other party leaders present at the meeting are Secretary, PDP Board of Trustees Ahmed Makarfi, the former Minister, Mr. Jerry Gana, Senator Ben Obi, Mrs. Josephine Aneni, Mrs. Zainab Maina, and some members of the Umar Damagum-led National Working Committee. This is Mr. Damagum's first public appearance since the Senator Anyanwu-led National Working Committee announced his suspension last week. In his address, Mr. Damagum hailed the recent judgment of the Oyo State High Court, which ordered the PDP to go ahead with its scheduled National Elective Convention in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, insisting that the planned convention must hold. We head to the courts now, where Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja has granted the last opportunity to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to either enter a defense in his ongoing alleged terrorism trial or be foreclosed. At the resumed hearing on Wednesday, Justice Omotosho said that it was his duty as a judge in the case to accord the defendant sufficient opportunity to put in his own defense. The judge spoke while ruling on an application by the prosecuting lawyer, Adeboye Molo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, that the court should foreclose Mr. Kanu, who failed to enter his defense, having spent 5 out of the 6 days the court allocated to him to conduct his defense. Mr. Awomolo also noted that the court had on Tuesday adjourned till Wednesday for Mr. Kanu to enter a defense in his trial or be deemed to have waived his right to do so. According to him, the resumption of proceedings on Wednesday, Mr. Kanu still declined to open his defense as ordered by the court. And Mr. Omolo has now urged the court to take note of the defendant's position, and he will not enter any defense because there is no valid charge against him. He then prayed the court to foreclose the defendants and adjourn for judgment. Earlier, Mr. Kanu, who represented himself, addressed the court from the dock, maintaining his position that there is no valid charge against him to warrant his being called to enter a defense. Meanwhile, the arraignment of activist Omoyele Sowore has suffered yet another setback as Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court Abuja adjourned proceedings to December the 2nd. At the day's proceeding, counsel to the Department of State Services, DSS, Akinolu Kehinde, senior advocate of Nigeria, asked the court to issue a bench warrant against Mr. Sowore, for being absent, to take his plea without justification, having been served the charges and hearing notice from the last adjourned date. The senior lawyer says the action of Mr. Sowore was an affront to the sanctity of the court and must be treated with the requisite punishment. He asked the judge to invoke his inherent power to issue bench warrants for the arrest of the defendants by security agents. Justice Umar, however, noted that the order for bench warrants will not subsist for now, following the submission of the second defendant, X Corporation, that they have not been served the charge sheet even though they received hearing notice. The trial judge then directed that all parties be duly served and then adjourned the case to December the 2nd, 2025 for arraignment. But earlier in the proceeding, the DSS lawyer had drawn the attention of the court to a letter by Deji Adeyanju calling for an adjournment in the case, hence his request for the bench warrants, noting that Mr. Sowore is only taking the court for granted. And Meta, which is Facebook Incorporated through their own lawyer, Tayo Oyetibo, senior advocate of Nigeria, aligned himself with the prosecution's request for a bench warrant against Mr. Sowore, stating the first defendant had accused them of taking sides with the prosecution. In the meantime, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Olondari Jimoh, has insisted that human rights activist Omoyele Sowore remains wanted over plans to lead a protest to block the Third Mainland Bridge, citing concerns over public safety and potential damage to infrastructure. The Commissioner says declaring Mr. Sowore wanted is to safeguard the lives and property of residents in Lagos. He also questions the credibility of the human rights activist.
When somebody like Sowore is marching on the 8th of September 2025, thousands of people on the Third Mainland Bridge. Third Mainland Bridge is very critical to this country. Third Mainland Bridge, billions of dollars were invested to construct Third Mainland Bridge and even to maintain it. And there's quite a number of people that are medical concerned, that are traveling out, that have a lot of things to do. And they call out people on the 8th of September to block the Third Mainland Bridge. And I have no any other option than to go there and disperse them with smoke, using minimum force. Because it's also for anybody to verify that bridges are designed to carry moving weight, not a stationary weight. So what he has done is so terrible to the livelihood of Lagosians, which I will not allow it to happen. So by him going and said the IGP has declared that it should be shoot aside, that is a big misinformation and mischievous for which is known with. And I want to underscore the fact that I have the right to declare wanted based on my right in the Constitution. Any other person, I want you to let me finish this bit. Any other person that said I don't have such a right should go to court. But for me to ensure public safety and public security and the protection of life and property of Lagosian in Lagos State, for which I'm charged with that responsibility, I have the right to do everything possible within the ambit of the law to sustain this. And that is why I promptly declare wanted. I want to make it abundantly clear that Sowore doesn't have NYC certificate because of punitive reason. He was posted to Adamawa and he was evasive. He never did the service. So such kind of person that doesn't even is qualified to bear the NYC certificate of a great country, Nigeria, will now be calling out miscreants to come and disturb the peace of Lagos. We will not allow it. So my pronouncement that is declared wanted still stand.
Well, the Commissioner of Police was speaking with my colleague Ayo Makinde on Sunrise Daily earlier today. To other stories now, 7 persons have been killed by suspected herders in a sustained 2-day attack on Anwel village in Ogwelu district of Ohimi local government area of Benue State. Confirming the attack to Channels Television in a telephone conversation, the executive chairman of Ohimi local government area, Mr. Adol Gabriel, says a total of 7 persons were killed in that attack. According to him, 2 persons were killed yesterday, and the governor sent his special advisor on security along with troops to contain the attacks. Mr. Gabriel also explains the team visited the scene at Anguel on Tuesday, where soldiers of Operations Wellstroke had also been stationed. But the herders returned in an operation on Tuesday evening to attack the community again, killing 5 other persons. The local government chairman, who expressed concern over the unprovoked attacks, however, says the community is now deserted following Tuesday's attacks, but additional security personnel have been drafted to restore peace. News of this latest attack on Benue communities is coming on the heels of public debate and concern over U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of military intervention in Nigeria over alleged genocidal killings against Christians. And this latest round of killings is provoking public outcry from residents and the victims, further fueling the calls for foreign support to end insurgency across Nigeria. The governor of Abia State, Alex Otti, has performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the establishment of a statewide internet broadband and data center project designed to boost digital connectivity and economic development across Abia. The event follows the signing of a memorandum of understanding earlier in the year between the state government and the WIOC Group, facilitated by His Royal Majesty Chibuzo Chinyere.
This is a dream come true for techies in Umuahia, Abia State and its environs as the gigantic project initiated earlier this year gets underway. Speaking at the ceremony in Umuahia, Governor Alex Otti said the project will provide high-speed broadband connectivity through fiber optics, creating digital opportunities across the southern region.
Today's event, the flag off of the top infrastructure development project, has been set up to highlight our commitment to the development of the state's technology infrastructure outline. The overarching objective is to run an interconnected underground duct system to support the deployment of reliable broadband technology, superior digital services, and expand the network of advantages for investors and new residents.
For the traditional ruler of the Ohanko Kingdom, Chibuzo Chinyere, the collaboration stemmed from the need to address youth unemployment and strengthen the state's telecommunications infrastructure.
This project, we are here today for the groundbreaking ceremony. When completed, is expected to set Abia State at the peak of digital economy, making it a one-stop digital telecommunication hub in Nigeria. And I'm sure, because this project is going to create both direct and indirect employment. Direct and indirect employment of more than 200,000 Abians.
Technical experts explain that the fiber network will extend to neighboring states, including rivers, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Edo, Cross River, Bayelsa, and the entire southeast region.
Our investments here are real and working in conjunction with your government, sir, to make sure that we deliver world-class, open digital infrastructure that will transform the economy of Abia State.
Governor Otti says Abia State is taking bold steps to become a one-stop digital economy, fostering innovation, investment, and job creation across the region.
There's a call for ministries, departments and agencies to work together. We'll bring you the details of this in a moment when New News at 5 returns. Join us again. Welcome back. The federal government is calling for stronger coordination among ministries, departments and agencies to drive effective policy implementation and deliver results that improve the lives of citizens. The call centers on building a results-driven public service rooted in performance, accountability and transparency. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, made the call at the sectoral retreat for government agencies under the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja. Our correspondent Benue reports.
This sectoral retreat, organized by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, had in attendance heads of ministries, departments and agencies in Abuja. With the theme Strengthening Coordination for Results, the retreat sought to align government mandates with presidential priorities for greater impact.
This retreat provides a strategic pause to recalibrate our tools and sharpen our focus. As we participate in these upcoming sessions, we are encouraged to consider deeply how we can translate policy into tangible outcomes through better alignment, increased collaboration, and shared ownership of results. We should approach these discussions with openness, creativity, and dedication to finding solutions.
In his remarks, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, called for stronger collaboration among government agencies, digital innovation, and accountability to enhance service delivery.
Ladies and gentlemen, government efficiency is not just about reducing costs or accelerating processes. It is about optimizing the use of public resources to achieve the greatest possible impact. This requires clarity of roles, seamless coordination among MDAs, evidence-based decision-making, and a strong culture of accountability and performance. We must therefore make a decisive shift from activity-based administration to result-based management.
He urged public servants to work together to deliver measurable results that reflect a renewed hope agenda.
I urge us to concentrate on practical and actionable steps that will strengthen interministerial collaboration and eliminate duplication of efforts. Our goals should include improving the monitoring and evaluation of government projects and policies, promoting transparency and data-driven decision-making, and strengthening institutional capacity to achieve measurable and sustainable results.
It is expected that with better coordination and purposeful action, the government will deliver smarter and more effective services to Nigerians. Benue, Channels Television News.
Residents of Opoloenwe community in Isoko South local government area of Delta State are appealing to Governor Sheriff Burowori to come to their rescue as floods continues to ravage the area, cutting off access roads and crippling economic activities. The residents say the Amaka-Etevia Road, which links parts of communities, have now become completely impassable.
The once busy Amaka-Etevia Road in Opoloenwe now lies submerged underwater with deep potholes and eroded sections, making movement difficult for residents.
You can see the stretch, you can even see our women, they are coming from the farm now.
The flood has not only destroyed parts of the road, but also disrupted farming and business activities, leaving the community in distress. President of Opoloenwe Clan Development Union, Kennedy Opako, commends President Bola Tinubu and Governor Sheriff Burowori, as well as the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Community Union, for their development strides. He, however, appeals passionately to the governor to re-award the 2-kilometer Amaka-Etevia Road project, which was poorly constructed about 10 years ago and has since collapsed.
While we appreciate him for all he has done in Delta State, and particularly to Opoloenwe, we want to draw his attention to the road that is just behind us. This road is about 2 kilometers road that is always flooded. This road was awarded by the Upper Deck more than 10 years ago. But every year, the road is cut off. And this road links from Imaka to the other quarter, Etevia, where it will now adjoin to the other road leading to Ugweru, which was also approved and awarded, executed by the state government. So for this shortcut leading from this road now to the other road, which is about 2 kilometers, every year is under siege. Every year the road is flooded.
Other community leaders also lend their voices to the deplorable road, which they claim has made life unbearable.
They must feed this road for we so that anytime when the flood comes, we can use motor or keke to carry our load.
We are begging the government to help us to do this so that in every flood, in every year like this, we can have access to go to the farm, go to our various places to make sure we bring our cheese from the farm.
With the Emaka-Etevie Road now clearly cut off, residents of Okpolo-Enwe are hopeful that their cry will prompt swift government intervention.
In the world of business, Nigeria has launched the sale of a dual tranche $2.25 billion Eurobond, joining other African issuers taking advantage of lower borrowing costs. The issuance is coming as global interest rates remain elevated, while the federal government also shrugged off threats from U.S. President Donald Trump of potential military action in the country over alleged Christian genocide. And the offering is structured into two distinct tenors, which include a 10-year tranche maturing on November the 13th, 2035, and a 20-year tranche maturing on November the 12th, 2045. Proceeds from the Eurobond issuance are earmarked primarily to address the country's 2025 fiscal budget deficit and refinance existing outstanding indebtedness. Meanwhile, latest reports say the Eurobond issuance has been oversubscribed by 400% despite Mr. Trump's threat. Meanwhile, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says the federal government is putting together 12 billion naira to fund digital economy research projects to ensure the country benefits from the dividends of digital transformation. The minister made this known at an event in Abuja organized by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. He also mentioned that the government is setting up 3 research clusters of 6 universities, each one focused on artificial intelligence, connectivity, as well as digital skills and literacy. According to him, the government will use this to raise the fund further for research projects that are focused on digital economy. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has shut down warehouses belonging to 5 textile distributors in Kanu for selling underweight and shortened fabric materials to consumers. The operation, led by the FCCP's Director of Surveillance and Investigation, Boladale Adeyinka, also followed weeks of surveillance confirming the deceptive practices which violate sections 123, 125 of the FCCPA 2018. The textile bans involve LGR, You and Me, Nana Tex, V Leventus, Mama Africa, Hightex, UE, SU Veld, and Jisike. The warehouses were traced to several locations across Kanu. The director and CEO, Tunji Bello, condemned the act, stating that such practices exploit consumers and distort fair market competition. He's assured that the Commission will continue to enforce compliance and protect the rights of consumers nationwide, while also commending the operatives and security agencies involved in the enforcement. And that's the news at 5 this hour. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu.